This is the Cam Snap, and I have some thoughts. There have been a few very cheap dash cam style sensors slapped in a vintage looking body and sold for a massive markup, but Cam Snap might be one of the first to have gained mainstream success with it. Now, this is not something I had ever planned on picking up, but I happened to acquire one, so I figured let's see what all the fuss is about and let you guys know at the same time. Let's start with some positives. It is light, like less than 100 grams. Which I'm not sure is a positive actually, because it feels like I'm going to snap it any moment or drop it because it doesn't really feel like I'm actually holding anything. But it's light, so that's a positive, I guess. It has USB-C charging and data transfer. Now, this should be standard in 2026, but it's nice to see. You can just plug your phone in and pull the photo straight off. Good stuff. Okay, one thing that really did actually impress me was the custom filters. Now, CamSnap has a website you can go to and you can fiddle with some sliders and then you can download the filter you've created. For example, I tried to make something akin to lomography purple and then you just download the file. And I also tried out some like cyana type kind of look. And then you just download that, you plug the camera in, you drag the filter file to the camera, and then you can shoot photos that look like this or like this. That's pretty cool, but it is not all roses and cream. It's not all good news because you can only install one filter at a time on the camera. You have to plug the camera in, delete the old filter, drag the new filter onto the camera, and then unplug the camera every time that you want to change filters. Which is crazy when you've got something like the $10 G6 thumb cam, which has 27 built-in filters at the press of a button. Now, you could say this is akin to film photography, where you have to choose the look that you want before going out for the day. And I guess if you have the filter files on your phone, you can just plug it in and drag it straight from your phone, which is kind of convenient, I guess, but it's still like feels clunky. Something to be very aware of is that this is only possible, the custom filters, on version 105 of the camera or 103B. 103 regular only has 3 possible, very standard filters, and 101 doesn't have any available filters. Now, you can find this out on the back of the box down here, very small, or in the EXIF data of the photo. Looking at the camera itself, apart from the 101, you can't tell the difference visually between 103, 103B, 105, 105B. They all look exactly the same. If, weirdly, this video has inspired you to get one, probably it's the 105 on the shelves at the moment. But you can just check the back of the box, to be sure. And I think I've run out of positives, so let's talk about the other side of the coin. First of all, the shutter lag on this thing is atrocious. The time between me pressing the shutter and the photo taken is that long, and the time to boot up the camera takes about this long. So, they market themselves as living in the moment, except you've just missed all the moments. And then on top of that, if you want to make sure you've actually composed the moment correctly, the viewfinder is also pretty terrible. There's no parallax lines in the viewfinder, so if you're like a meter away from your subject, what you see and what you get are wildly different. Now, from a bit further back, of course, it's going to be better, but I think my sensor's crooked because I'm quite sure I took a flat photo and the final result was not. As I'm sure you've noticed by now, the shutter sound is pretty obnoxious. And it's coming out of this 1990s high school speaker here, low-res audio file. Sounds horrible and kind of embarrassed me from even taking any pictures once I started to hear that sound in public. Now, the photos themselves, they're 8 megapixels, which is fine on paper. And the photos are indeed fine. I'm not really going to hate on them. They do their job. But it is not a phone 8 megapixels. It is not a CCD Digicam 8 megapixels. It is a cheap, tiny sensor with very limited dynamic range and very heavy sharpening. Also, I noticed some pretty heavy warping on just one side of my image. So, if that's what you're after, maybe this camera is for you. Except, it's $70. What? You out of your mind? Now, I understand if you don't want to go digging into Temu or AliExpress yourself, so let's just check Amazon and see what is available. Digital camera. Then let's check the price limit. And all right. There's a lot of crap. That's good. Oh, the camera's there. What's this? 4K digital camera for kids, 64 megapixels. Absolutely not, but it's $12. I think that's a pretty cool option if you want something lo-fi. Anyway, I think my opinion's pretty clear on this. I think it is predatory. I think it aims at the kids who want to get into film photography, but don't want to do film photography, so they get like a digital sort of retro camera, which is fine. No problem with that. But there are cheap options out there. There are good options out there. This is neither of them. But it is also the most popular one on the market. And that kind of annoys me. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. And thanks for watching.